I was on the phone yesterday with a past client, just doing some follow-up calls, when she asked me this question. She said, "What's the difference between a buyer's market and a seller's market?" She mentioned that she had seen internet articles, she had heard reports that referenced buyer's markets and seller's markets without explaining what those very concepts are. So it was a great question, and I was happy to answer, and that's what I'll do here briefly. A buyer's market is one where there are lots of houses for sale. In a certain area, that buyer might be looking and finds that there are 20 houses for sale, and they might be the only buyer at that time. There's just not many buyers. It creates a situation where the sellers are fighting for that one buyer, and sellers are more willing to reduce their price, pay some closing costs, do whatever it takes to get their house sold so buyers are happy. They can make an offer here, and if that seller's not motivated enough, you know what? There's 19 other houses, and we'll go find somebody who is, and the buyer tends to feel like they're getting a great deal. A seller's market, on the other hand, is the opposite. There may be one house for sale in a certain neighborhood and 20 buyers who want to be in that neighborhood. It puts the seller in a great position in that, the buyers have to essentially fight over their house. And this is where you will see a house sell for more than what the seller was asking. All of a sudden, the buyer doesn't care to do a home inspection. The buyer is trying to make their offer look as good as possible for that seller. That's a total seller's market. And anyone selling their house, they love that type of climate. It makes selling it easier and for a higher price. There is such thing as a balanced market. Maybe there are 20 houses for sale in a certain neighborhood, 20 buyers looking to buy them, and things are just somewhat balanced. There's still negotiations going on, but neither buyer nor seller have an outrageous advantage in that situation. Here's one last thing about this concept is that in a metropolitan area, a local real estate market, there can be some neighborhoods where a seller's market is going on, and you could drive 15 minutes away to another neighborhood where it's a buyer's market. And I see that right here in the Richmond metropolitan area. There can be neighborhoods where buyers are just waiting, and one house comes up for sale and there's 20 buyers who want it, and it's a total seller's market. And there are other neighborhoods where it's the opposite. There's 20 homes for sale, and every now and then a buyer will wander into that neighborhood wanting to buy one of those, and they have his or her pick. I mean, it's a buyer's market, and things go well for the buyer. So a little insight on buyer and seller markets today. I hope you have a great day.